So the Cheesecake Factory Woman is back for more. She's back for more. You guys ever see Home Alone where I think he said something like, I think Macaulay Culkin said something like, he said, "You had enough, or you thirsty for more?" That's what I feel like. I'm thirsty for more right now watching this video. Maybe she's thirsty for more. I don't know. All right, I hope that things turn out well for her and for the guy at the end of the day. Though I wish no harm on nobody. So let's see how this goes. We're going to react to this, guys. All right, let me just hit play on this video. Just seeing this pop up. All right, let's get into it.
Rise and shine, beautiful souls. Welcome back to the Truth Factory. This episode is going to be a little bit different. Typically, we talk about devastating issues and inside of relationships and try to talk about the nuanced things in that relationship to heal it. This time, we're going to talk about dating. So, I don't know if you guys have saw the viral video, but there's a viral video where a woman is taken to the Cheesecake Factory and she does not want to go inside of there. She does not want to be embarrassed. This conversation ended up going viral, and here we are. Alicia, it is a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, thank you.
Jay, pleasure to meet you. Welcome to the show, and thank you guys for being willing to come here and have this dialogue. I'm sure you guys have gotten a lot of flack, maybe even some backlash and things of that nature from this video going viral.
Well,
yeah, before we get into it, we're going to take a moment and just relook at that video. It's been a couple of weeks, so here we go right here.
We're going to skip past that part, yo. Hold on. Actually, they got a commercial popping up. We're going to skip past this, too, because I ain't trying to get flagged for nothing. Hold on. Mute this right quick. All right.
Now, here we are.
He done played the whole video, it seemed like.
A few weeks later, I'm sure you've had some time to think about what you guys discussed in the car.
Before I say this, I was going to say this because this is what I said in the last video. I kept on saying how I wasn't 100% sure if this was real. I was wondering like this was actually staged. I guess maybe this proves that it was real. I mean, to me, it felt real, but I was just like, you know, the way the internet is now, it's hard to tell what's real and what's not real. But here we go.
I'm sure you've had some time to think about it. Before I ask you any questions, have you guys had a second date?
no.
No second dates?
Not yet.
Okay. So I'll start with you, Jay. What has dating been like for you since that video went viral?
Since I was on the video, kind of unexpected, I might not have put my best foot forward, you know, and so.
What you mean, bro? You know what? You know, I'm trying not to stop this, but let's continue.
Well, I feel like, I've not really met anyone since who I've really gotten to get to know like that, because a lot of women, they might have seen the video or might have heard from it, or maybe a friend of them has seen the video and shares it with them. And so they kind of had this image of me based on the video.
Absolutely.
And it hasn't really helped.
Okay.
Exactly. It's like they might think everything about me is reflected in that video, and I don't think it is.
I don't think he did anything wrong in the video at all. If you think he did, if you agree with me that he didn't do anything wrong, let me know in the comments. All right. I think he did everything right. You know what I mean? End of the day, I don't know how old this guy is. I mean, it's hard for me to tell, but I don't know. It seems almost like he's like new to this for some reason. I don't know. Maybe he's new to dating black women. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see how this turns out. Hopefully for the good for both of them.
And but yeah, it's been difficult.
Sure.
Well, and it's even before this, you know, dating has already been difficult for me.
Okay.
You know?
I imagine your views kind of clash with what you're looking for and what they're looking for.
Yeah, I think so, because I mean, I think in general my values kind of reflect wanting to build something that lasts.
Yes, sir.
And I want to make sure that anyone that I meet is willing to build a really strong foundation based on our mutual values. And I think it in general, or a lot of the people that I meet, either they don't have time to set towards building something like that, or they just don't want to because, you know, they're younger, they want to experience, you know, casual dating or whatever it is. And it's just not something that I'm looking for right now.
Understood. So, obviously, guys, Jay's saying that they have a negative, they're viewing him in a negative light when it comes to dating. When I saw Jay, I saw someone who was making some excellent points, who knew what he wanted, and he's actually now like a Giga Chad in the manosphere world, in the red pill community. The brother's being mentioned everywhere for the way he handled that conversation. Now, I'm going to ask Alicia as well, because during this conversation, Alicia.
Thank you.
We'll get that right. Okay, so Alicia, you didn't seem to really disagree with what he was saying. Now, you had definitely a different opinion before he gave you his mind, right? But you seemed very receptive to it. Can you explain to me kind of what you were thinking and how you saw him in that video?
His host is doing a good job. I gotta give him that for sure. He definitely doing a good job. He talking very respectful to her. You know, not trying to throw her under the bus. And that's what we want to see. That's what we want to see here.
Because he's saying they took him in a negative light. What do you think?
Well, yes, I think once we had the conversation, I could see my role in the conflict.
Okay, okay.
Let's back up a little bit. To be fair, I mean, I was always raised that the man is supposed to cater to you. I mean, you're courting me, so court me. That means wherever I want to go, you take me.
Absolutely.
Whatever I want.
I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at her. I'm actually laughing at, because I've heard that before. Okay, I heard that before, and it sounds so right. Doesn't it sound so right? But you have to understand what she said. Oh, I'm so glad making this video, ladies and gentlemen. Notice what she said. She said, "You're courting me." All right. What's my beard? What the one's there? I mean, maybe it's just a little shine. I'm getting old. Maybe a little gray hair. But anyway, yeah, like I'm looking in the camera, like, what is that? But like she said, you're courting me. Okay. So this is my thing, and this is just reality. If you're getting courted, I mean, I don't know if she thinks this is like Cinderella or something, some of these like Disney stories, okay? Like, or some women think that, but hopefully her mindset has changed on this. But if a guy is trying to reach you, he's trying to take you out, and you are not even dating, it's absolutely no reason why you should be expected to be treated like a wife when you are not even dating him. And if you're dating him, you still will not get the wife treatment, okay? I mean, I just think it's unbelievable, and it's sad that some women think that, okay? And they're being taught this. She said that's what she believed. Hopefully her mindset has changed on that. But there are still too many young women and some older women that think this way, and this is a huge mistake. There's always going to be some men out there who are dumb enough, okay, to treat you that way because they don't know any better. I was like that at one point. I didn't know any better. Women used me to get their nails done, all kind of stuff, and then you never see them again. All kind of stuff. All right. And there's some men that will do that just because they want to get in a woman's, in her pants, whatever, okay, in her dress, whatever. All right. But at the end of the day, that thinking is just so stupid, and you gotta do better if you want to find the right person, for real.
You buy me. That's courting. You know, I'm looking for a provider. So, but after the conversation, I could see how
those looking like, oh boy. No, look on this dude's face. Let's just continue. I'm sorry to keep stopping this, y'all.
There was a lot of I.
Okay.
In that exchange,
Absolutely.
I was definitely very self-centered, and I can appreciate if I do want someone to provide for me, I at least gotta be a little bit nice.
Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. See, like I said in my last video, I said anybody can change. There you go.
Okay, great. So now I ask you this, based on your idea of dating before your conversation with Jay, how did you grow up? Who also thinks that way? I'm sure you have friends who think that way. I've heard it a lot.
I mean, everybody. I mean, that's what the man's he's supposed to do.
He showed, I mean, he was like, okay, like not really, but you know what? I hope that she learns something from this. I really do. I really do. Let's continue, y'all.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, and I'm a beautiful woman, so I'm expecting to be treated like royalty. I mean, come on.
It's your my man. You look like I'm doing everything I can not to laugh at this. This is unbelievable. They need to give this guy an award right now for doing this interview. I'm sorry. I'm talking about the host here.
So that's
but
what
the
I was
kicker
doing.
is, how do we treat him? And that's where the disconnect was.
Right.
In the video, now of course I'm sure you think of it differently now, but in the video you basically told him that you're not going in there, you know your value. It would be embarrassing for you to go inside a Cheesecake Factory. A lot of people like Cheesecake Factory. Now, so when I see that video, I'm thinking, okay, she must have some friends who probably would disagree with her going inside a Cheesecake Factory. Your peer group. So peer pressure probably keeps you from.
Never live that. Oh my God! I would have never lived that down.
Wow! They ain't the Cheesecake Factory. They wouldn't let you live that down.
No, I have an image to protect.
I told you he was gonna start laughing. I told you. My man couldn't help us. Oh my goodness. This is unbelievable, y'all. This is unbelievable. You know what? I'm not trying to make light of her. Just what she's saying is just so crazy. Oh my goodness. This is funny. Actually, it's not funny because I know some of you women probably watch it. It's not laughing. For men, it's probably more. For us, it's probably more funny. Okay, but it really is a shame because it seems like she still thinks like I can't. The thing is that she's too old to be thinking that way. Okay, I said this in my last video. It was times when I felt like, I can't be seen doing this. I can't be seen doing it. Even when I was in elementary school, I remember I was supposed to go to this kid's birthday party, and I can't be seen at this dude's party because he wasn't the cool kid. All right. Just stupid thinking. She really has to mature in her thinking. That's all. Seriously. She got to mature in her thinking. When my friends I will never be able to do this down with my friends. You need to get new friends. Seriously, you need to get new friends if that's the case.
Wow.
Does not do that. That was that was my circle though. That's how that's how we roll.
Sure.
To be quite blunt, that's how we roll. Hypergamy is a big thing in my circle. It's what we've been taught. Why? As a black woman, I can go there. As a black woman, we're really tired of having to settle.
All right, picture this. You're brand.
They're gonna keep giving us these ads. Let me picture this. Mute this video right quick and hit play so I can watch the rest of it. Oh, here we go.
We want that soft life, so that's what I thought I was going after.
Let me go back for a second. Hold on.
How having to settle. We want to be treated well. We want that soft life, so that's what I thought I was going after.
I can almost guarantee. I can almost guarantee that guy's gonna bust out laughing again. I can almost guarantee you. I can see he try to hold it back.
However, what I understand is a part of having a soft life is being cooperative.
Being soft.
Not being combative,
You're
right?
Actually being soft.
Right.
Being receptive, being sweet.
Absolutely.
Being pleasant, right? Because we do understand the value of resources, but it can't be just something for a lifestyle. A man's resources is not just for a woman's experiences and traveling and the lifestyle they'll live when married. Is for providing for the family and the children. And that's why she should seek a man and respect his resources or prioritize his resources, not just for what it can do for her. Right. And so when you were in the beginning of it, you was just saying, I'm not doing it. It seemed really selfish, right? And I appreciated that when I saw the video myself. That's one of the things I covered is, wow, I've never seen a woman that receptive to being accountable, right? And you were, but Jay, however, didn't want to go out on a date. He wanted to discontinue that date, and he wanted to take it on to the house. Jay, is that your first time stopping a date midway through and going on back home, or?
Yeah, something like that's. I'm sorry, at least that's the first time I've really
You're such a respectful person. It's unbelievable, to tell you the truth. Like, I don't know. I've dealt with more than a few women like her before, so let's continue, y'all.
Like, put my foot down to that kind of extent, but it's not like.
And that's not to say you shouldn't be respectful. You always should be respectful. Okay, I mean, that's for sure. You see, my channel, we talk about God on this channel. We are a Christian channel, that's for sure. But at the same time, you got to be. You know, the Bible says you got to be innocent as a dove, but wise as a serpent. You can't just be a dummy out here on these streets. Okay, but always be respectful of women. That's for sure. But if someone's trying to run game on you, you need to know when that's happening. That's all I'm trying to say here.
An isolated incident,
Okay.
you know, like I've gone on dates with several people now, even before her, where they had very specific things they were looking for in a boyfriend or whatever, and even within my own circles, right? And that's just not something that I'm looking for, because I was raised like we were talking about how she was raised, whereas with me, like my family, like we've passed down the name for ages, and we're a very close knit, strong family.
You passed down your first name, Jay? Like
Yes.
your father's and father.
Yeah,
How many
yeah.
generations, probably?
I mean, I couldn't really count it myself.
Wow.
Because I mean, the thing is, like, I'm from India.
Okay.
You know, and the partition happened where, like, India was separated from Pakistan.
Mhm.
And a lot of my family were on both sides of that, and we had to come back together.
Wow.
And we had to, it was very important for us to stay strong after the fact.
Mhm.
At the time, maybe we didn't care as much about creating this legacy, but ever since, it's like that's been one of the strongest parts of our family, is the importance in creating our legacy. And with that in mind, like, I've grown up with the idea that I want a strong family here, now that I'm living in America. The only kind of relationships I seek are ones where that is the only value. That is the biggest value. That is the most important thing for the other person as well as for me.
Wow. That's actually powerful. So your family going through all that they did, it caused you guys to really idealize relationships, right? And
Specifically, relationships that last.
absolutely. And so here you are in America dating, and mostly in our culture, where you stated earlier you were a black woman. Of course, we have been through some things, right? In our culture here in the States and throughout the whole diaspora, I like using that word. But a lot of times our culture has been stripped, and we haven't yet began to idealize relationships, you know, so we're more so going along with the flow. So here he is in America, and he's meeting a woman who's in America, and she sees dating the way Americans see dating. And so I can see the clash in that.
Yeah.
You know, he's looking at you as if that's selfish. You're looking at him as if, you know, he's treating you beneath your work.
We had the whole set it like that. He was trying to be very respectful to her as he said it, okay? But when he said she's a woman who sees dating as Americans see dating, okay? He kind of slid that in there, and he wasn't trying to be respectful, but he had to make that point, and he made that point. You know, that's as a host, you got to do it. You got to be like, you know, you got to be. I know how it is to be a moderator and a host to different shows and things like that. So you got to make your put your point across and let people know this is what it is. This is the way a lot of people are seeing it. And what he's saying is 100% correct, that the way at least she came across, and even now, you know, she's seeing it as, she's kind of still seeing it from the Americanized point of view, which is always changing. It's always getting worse, in my opinion. All right, if you're always looking from an Americanized point of view of how things should be. All right, and the reality is that the American plan is actually to break up families, and I always say to actually make men extremely feminine. All right, and to remove men from the household. That's actually the true goal of the Americanized system. All right, at the point we're at right now. All right, having a woman that you cannot date, having a black woman that a black man cannot date, cannot marry. Okay, a black woman that is unmarriable. If I'm saying that right, you know, you're just not marriage material. I'm trying to make up a word there. It's not marriage material. Having a black man that's not marriage material is the American plan. Okay, for sure. All right. And the way you do that is a variety of ways that's being done. Okay, but we have to step away from that. All right, go back to the truth. okay, you know, me on my page, I'm gonna tell you, you need to go back to God for sure, okay? But at the end of the day, we need to step away from what this country is trying to push us and our children into, all right? Which will, once again, will make you never find the right person. Not to say if you're not married that you're somehow incomplete, because that's not the case. I'm not married, all right? And I'm very complete in many ways, especially in God, okay? Though I too want to be married one day, and I know that I will be, okay? Lord willing, as long as I'm able to live longer, amen, by the grace of God. But at the end of the day, still, you know, if you want to find the right person and be married, and as this Indian guy is saying, is stay married, all right, until death do you part, then the Americanized way of thinking got to go.
Worth, you actually value. So here's what I want to do, guys. I want to go back a bit. Can y'all tell me how y'all met? I want you to tell me how you guys met.
So I was in Midtown, and like I barely even have time to go out with friends and all that. But it was a really close friend's birthday, so I went to get some drinks for the first time in ages, and I saw this beautiful woman. Who
I'm gonna take a guess that they're living in Atlanta. I don't know nothing about Atlanta, never been there before, but I'm gonna just guess that they're in Atlanta. We'll see.
It seemed like every other guy in the bar was either intimidated by or too shy to talk to, and I thought, what the hell? Why not? And she was, minding her own business. And I asked her, her name, Alicia, and I thought that's a beautiful name. And even despite how loud it was in the bar, we were still able to talk a little here and there. And I got her number, and she had to go. And so we kept talking after that for a little bit. And then like a week later, I asked her, you want to go out? To this restaurant.
Yeah.
And I told her it would be a surprise. And maybe that
it definitely was. Let me just hit play here.
Might be a problem on my part. It might have raised the expectations a little bit. But I guess the surprise ended up being Cheesecake Factory, where the original surprise was.
I want to get to that. You had something else planned for her, right?
Yeah.
Because of how the evening went, the Cheesecake Factory happened, right?
Yeah.
So
and can I just say,
sure.
I love the Cheesecake Factory, and it's a place that I've gone to for like every birthday. So like it wasn't just like a random restaurant to me. It was also like a place that I've gone with my family throughout my entire life.
That's important. That's very, very important. I'm glad that he said that, because when you're coming together, and I've seen this before also myself, where it's been places that I wanted to go that I really liked, and some women were like, they just immediately shot it down. Like, oh no, I would never go there. I've seen that before myself, okay? And that actually had a great impact on the way I saw that person. Then the other things kind of connected to that which I saw. But if I'm going on a date with somebody, and it's been plenty of times I've been on dates with people. I remember one time I went on a date with this woman, and she wanted to go somewhere in Manayunk in Philly. It's like Manayunk is like an area. It's kind of like where, I don't know if the people still use this word, but it's like a hipster area. It's kind of, at least part of it is like that, okay? And it's just kind of changed. It's kind of like a hipsters and whatnot, right? So she wanted to go to there, and I really don't like hanging around areas like that, to tell you the truth. So I was like, all right. So we went to this restaurant, and I really didn't like. They had all this kind of food. It was like Mexican food or something like that, which I really don't even really have a taste for, to tell you the truth. And the whole time I just want to get up on out of here. I mean, she was ordering all this stuff. I was like, man, I want to get up. I think the bill was like $70-something. I think, I don't even know if I even ate anything. I barely got anything to eat. I really didn't like the food, you know what I mean? And then once I went in there, I was like, but I went there because she wanted to go there, okay? Because she wanted to be there. I'm just saying, like, the same thing with women, you say, oh, you're the person taking this out. Still, it's about compromise. If you can show a man that you can compromise for something as small as food, because it's just food at the end of the day, it goes a long, 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 long way, okay? Especially when you're talking about marriage, because you want to do that when you're married, you know what I mean?
I love Cheesecake Cat.
So you didn't. So obviously the
reason why I said it is because it's like, her mind just immediately went to, oh, no, that I can't be seen here. It's all about her. It's not about what about you. Her mind immediately went to herself, and she was looking 100% at herself when she heard about having to go there. You understand what I'm saying?
because you guys were late, she wasn't ready. You weren't able to take her to the restaurant that you wanted to take her to. You figured, I can't go wrong with the Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's my old birthday restaurant, you know.
It's my lucky.
She'll love it.
And that's the lucky spot too. Apparently.
Lucky spot. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll come back to that one. No, I'm kidding with you.
Okay.
Alicia.
Yeah.
So Jay, you see Jay walking up to you in the bar, say Midtown. He's walking up to you. He's gonna talk with you. There are other guys around you. Did you notice those guys probably want to talk to you? Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
So what made you say, okay, I'm going to give this guy a chance? What was it about him?
Well, he was bold enough to come up and talk to me for one.
Confidence, okay.
So yes, I definitely am attracted to confidence. He just seemed like he had a pure heart. He was, very thoughtful, engaging. I mean, the only he won me over. He did win me over, but I'm a tall woman, and so there wasn't necessarily like that immediate attraction. But as we began to talk, it was really his heart that made me say, I'll give this guy a try.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that where you draw your line? Is that typically you don't date guys who are...
So that's a plus for her. Okay, I like how she said that. Because that's taking a step out of the Americanized dating system, mindset. She said, well, I don't want to be with a guy that's shorter than me. A lot of women wouldn't want that, okay? But she said, I like his heart. He seemed like a kind person. I believe that she's telling the 100% truth there, okay? And she made a good step, all right? I don't know if they'll be together. I don't think that they should be together, but that's just my opinion. I don't know. I could be 100% wrong. But, with a mindset like that, she stays in that vein, she'll definitely find the right person for sure, okay? Because she's taking a step out of the Americanized mindset there,
You guys have to be at least your height or taller before you would date them?
Exactly.
Okay. Okay, I understand that. That probably makes it difficult finding someone suitable for yourself. You are what, 6'1", 6?
I'm almost 6'1", yes.
Almost 6'1". Wow. So that means, let's see,
She ain't too tall. I'm like 6 feet myself. She ain't that tall, because there's women, I know women that's taller than that, much taller than that. But still, it's guys that's short,
10.5% of men are at least 6 feet, right? But that next 2 inches for you to find someone taller than you, that's 3.6% of men in the entire world that are tall enough that are they're at least 6'2". Is that discouraging?
I mean, I only need one.
You need one, but he needs to be that height. He needs to make the resources, right?
Yeah.
He's making a great point. He's saying, look, if you want to find somebody that's at that height, it's going to be slim pickings if you're going to keep that criteria.
To be funny, he needs to be charismatic. He needs to be disciplined, and that doesn't discourage you.
I'm an optimist, but no.
And I like
yeah,
it. I like
but
it.
no. I mean,
An optimist.
Logically speaking, I understand what you're saying. I've heard this many times, but I haven't given up on I hadn't given up on that. But I'm actually open. I really enjoyed our conversation, so I would consider.
Well, sure, and I was going to commend you for that. I didn't see it as a. I know you're saying that they have to be that height, but it seems that you are willing to, make an exception, just like you did for Jay here when he walked up and he had the confidence of a 6'2" man. To at least hear what he had to say, and that's a good thing, because it may not be the cookie cutter thing that you plan out. So if we're going to look for a happy relationship, a harmonic one that gives our children and our lineage what they need for years and generations to come, right? We may have to make an exception or two, right?
Yeah. Sometimes it's not what we want; it's what we need.
I could just feel that commercial coming. Something told me a commercial about to come. Let me say this too. This is actually much better than I thought it was going to be. You know what I mean? And I hope this helps redeem this woman's image at the end of the day. If she is changing her mindset, okay? At the end of the day, I don't wish harm on anyone's image for sure. I made a video about her. I wasn't trying to drag her through the mud. I was talking about the way she was acting, but I said anyone can change in that video. But yeah, I hope that this helps her, you know, and of course the guy Jay.
What we need.
That's absolutely true. I was going to say, when it comes to how we date, I think a lot of it is just the information that we have, right? So what I noticed from yours and Alicia's conversation, Jay, is that you had a different view of altogether of what dating should look like leading up to a relationship, and she had a different view. And now,
like, what I should say is, I mean, at the very end of the day, like, I understand dating in America is different from where my family's from, and in a way, like, it's perfectly fine to have those views and to think of dating differently. I just think, for me, I have a very specific criteria, and it's not a long list of criteria, but it's just certain values that I
sure. Well, I think a lot like you. That's why the video stood out to me. I believe relationships should be harmonic. They should be for a reason. So I believe in dating with intent, right? Yeah. But many people in our generation today, they see dating as something that's just fun. They don't see it as a way to establish a healthy relationship. And that's what I was going to say. There's almost little to no understanding as to what dating should look like when you're trying to establish an intent for a meaningful relationship. And I think that's the biggest problem. It's not so much that people are necessarily selfish or entitled. It's more so that they don't know what they're looking for, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Oftentimes we think we know, but we really don't.
Right, right. So when he asked you the question, you expect men to go all out on a date, huh? You said absolutely. If he likes her, he should present that, right?
Yes.
He should lead and be masculine. He should be willing to pay for the meal, show up on time, open doors for her, the whole nine. But when he asked you, what does a woman expect you to do? You said, look good, be there. And that's where the, right?
Disconnect was. Yeah.
Absolutely. Because there should be things that a woman should do, right? So if you've thought about that, could you tell me some of what you think now, if he would have asked you that question today?
Sure. If you think about, watching the video, it's like, how do you expect this person to keep giving, and you're not giving anything back? So now we're depleted.
Absolutely.
And so who's going to pour into him?
Wow.
So, I mean, if you truly do want that type of protection provider, there has to be some balance.
Absolutely.
So.
Wow, that's very powerful. I actually took the liberty to make a list of things that men and women should look for in each other on a date, right? I'm gonna read.
And I like the fact that not only that she's saying that, but think about it. She literally pulled the camera out and started filming. I'd have been. Well, I seen that, I'd have been gone immediately. I'd have been like, look, I'm calling an Uber for you. You need to get out my car. All right, you think you're gonna film me on this date on live with people watching? I'm literally paying for you, all right? And I took time out of my day. I could have been with somebody else. I'm with you, okay? I could be doing something else, but I'm with you, and you gonna start filming me? You serious? But of course, this guy was nice to the umpteenth degree. You know what I mean? And I don't know if she's gonna admit that, even pulling the phone out was wrong in this video, if she even sees that. I think that she does. I know sometimes some women, not all women, but some women, they have a hard time saying that they're wrong or being accountable for certain things that they do. Not all women, but some women that do that. Okay, I don't want to get crucified here. I know some of you men like, come on, man, just say it. Just tell the truth now. But you know what I mean? But I like the fact that you could see she's really seeing these things, okay? Even when she was in the car with the guy in the first video, you could see it was like she was starting to think, she was starting to understand. And the thing is, and I have to say, I'm glad this is coming to me at this time, okay? A lot of times, women, especially women that may be pretty, whatever the case may be, or just whatever. A lot of times, you don't hear the full truth from men, all right? Because the guy that you're dating, it's almost like he has to walk a fine line, and if he doesn't walk that fine line, you'll leave him, or you'll go to the next guy, or you'll just not answer your phone. So it's like, for some women, it's rare that they ever hear a man actually telling them what they're really doing wrong, because they'll just go away, they'll just flee. So they never really get to hear what the problem is, So she was sitting in that car. She was on live. You could almost say she trapped herself. You know what I mean? Like the Bible says, you know, you dig a pit for somebody to fall in, you'll fall in yourself. And it's like she kind of dug a pit for him to fall into, to trap him. But in reality, she ended up being trapped and having to hear, maybe for the first time in her life, this is what you're doing wrong. Okay, if you filming him, this is what you're doing wrong. And that film that she filmed ended up making her look bad, maybe across the whole world. But she intended for it to make him look bad. Okay. Hopefully that's the old her. You understand what I'm saying? But once again, a lot of times some women, they don't get to hear what they're really doing wrong. Like you said, you thought all I had to do was just sit there and look good. Okay. And a lot of women, too many women, think that way. And too many black women, not all black women. I met a ton of great black women, but there are too many black women that think like, well, look, all I need to do is just look good. Okay. And you think, well, you're the man. You're supposed to be doing the work. I'm supposed to look good. Okay. That equals out. That balances out. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't at all. If you have a nasty attitude, if you're rude, if you're combative, all right, and the man's do all this kind of stuff and didn't deal with that, that's a huge turnoff. Okay, it's a huge turnoff. Then you want to sleep with the guy. You want the guy to be aroused for you when you have an attitude that nasty. All right. Then if the guy leaves you, and I'm not condoning cheating at all, but when some men cheat on women, they scratch their head and say, how is this happening? Well, because once again, as I'm saying, the guy didn't tell you what you're really doing wrong because he can't. All right. And then you scratch your head wondering why that guy cheated on you, then the other guy cheated on you. Okay. Once again, men shouldn't be cheating, neither should women. I'm just saying that sometimes women like that have that kind of attitude, you make people leave you and run to somebody else because of the way that you're acting. Okay. The way that you're acting. And I truly believe that this woman is looking at this guy like she said, I'm open to going with him again. Okay. I think she can see, and she saw when she first met him, is something in that guy. As the Bible says, what's desirable in a man is his kindness. All right. And I believe in all people. I know to see a woman that's kind, you know, that's very attractive. A woman that's nasty. I think I said it in my last video when I took a few women out in the past, and they were nice to me, but then rude to the waiters for no reason at all, to the point where I felt embarrassed to even be with them. Or women I was taking out for maybe the first or second date, and they're treating waiters like trash. That's very unattractive. Okay, so her seeing in him that kindness, I think that her deep down inside, past all the American mess, all right, deep down inside, you know, we know what's right. We know we can sense what's good and what has worth. I think that she sensed the worth in him, and something in her, the real her, wanted to burst out and say, listen, you know, he's worth something. Okay, you know what I mean? Get past all of these lies that they're being told you and understand this guy's worth something. All right.
To you. I want you guys to tell me what you think of it in, okay? Let's start with what you're looking for in a man. Okay, so what a woman looks for in a man is respect and courtesy. Would you say I'm wrong? Confidence, right? Communication skills.
Absolutely.
Knowing what he wants, where he's going with it, right?
Yes.
Initiative, taking the initiative. Chivalry.
Yes.
Okay. Resilience.
Yes.
Right. So even when you being a little bit, you know, hard to get, he can push past that, right? The resilience. Generosity.
Yes.
Okay. So here are the behaviors that look good to a man when he's looking for a woman. I'm going to ask you the same questions. You tell me if you like the sound of that. Men are looking for kindness. Right. You want her to be really kind, really sweet, right? Pleasant. So what about active listening?
Yeah.
And you said when she got in the car, she was putting the makeup on and she wasn't really responding to you or responsive to you.
Yeah.
You took from that she didn't like you much.
Yeah.
Right. Encouragement. And,
yes.
And you said that, being able to pour back into him, right? Positivity. Right. So not being negative, having a smile on your face, right?
You see this real quick too. I don't want to keep stopping, but I gotta say this. Sometimes a woman can be putting her makeup on, all right, and getting ready, and that doesn't mean that she's trying to be disrespectful. In her case, it may have been the case, but that's not always the case. You know, they could be trying to get ready. They could be trying to look good for you, and maybe they're just behind schedule, whatever the case may be, like she was. You know, it doesn't mean that they're not into you or that you know, like I said, in this case it may be different, but that doesn't mean that the woman is so into herself that she's putting makeup on. She's putting that makeup on to look presentable for the world, for you, All right, and that's a plus, you know. Now, if she's doing it the whole time you're on a date, just looking in you know, at her makeup, then that's different, you know. But
Respect for independence.
Yeah.
Okay. Adaptability.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There was this time where you wanted her to hold your arm,
Yeah.
right, and walk you to so you could walk her to the car, and she didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
You expressed to her that you didn't like that, and that made you feel like, of course, when her not being on your arm, how can you truly protect her, right? But also, her not doing that says she ain't really feeling me like that.
Yeah.
She don't really like me like that.
And
Yeah.
you know, I get, you know, it was a first date. Maybe she's not at that stage yet. But
I get that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Question: let's just say you're out with him, right? You're on a date with a guy, and some guy comes up, takes your purse. Do you want your date to have your back?
Yeah.
So
He has to protect me.
and even if he's not ready for that yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he shouldn't even ask you on a date if he's not going to protect you if something were to happen to you. This is why you should take his arm. You see, so it may feel like I'm giving this guy too much of me, but it's more like I'm being cooperative to the roles that we're playing. He's going to protect me if something happens right now, and so I'm going to stand close to him. This lets the people on the outside looking in know that I'm with this man. He is taking care of me. We're out together, right?
It's like it kind of
Yep.
shows that you trust.
Absolutely.
I think I felt like
Trust is a big.
What women get out of a date is
Well, this is the thing. I will say this. I'm gonna give some women this not really out, but just something that you should do. Okay, because the reality is that depending on the situation that the woman may have come from, they may not be comfortable with doing that. You know, because it could be a variety of reasons that you don't know. It could have been a real abusive relationship. It could have been anything. Maybe they just take more time. Okay, we can't just say you have to, you know what I mean, do this or do that. But the guy's making a good point there. But at the same time, we can't just force that. Okay, it's like saying, well, I want to hug you, whatever the case may be. It's people that went up before that they weren't even comfortable with hugging like that or whatever. Okay, when you first meet them, there's nothing wrong with that because you just met them. It's the first date. All right, and for some people, they do so much, they need more time. And that should be understandable, but at the same time, the woman has to let the man know if she's like that. She has to say, "Look, I'm just not comfortable." You gotta be polite. Let the guy know that I'm just not comfortable with that right now. No offense, all right. Not that I don't like you. It's just that it take a little bit more time for me. You know, that's all. But you know, just hanging there, whatever the case it be. But you gotta express that. Okay, if you're just like, oh no, I don't want to hug you. Oh no, I don't want to hold your arm. Someone would just leave. Okay, seriously, or they'll be with you, but their spirit just somewhere else.
A free bodyguard, because if anything goes wrong with her, he has to really put his life on the line for her. Mm-hmm. So if a man asks you out on a date, you shouldn't say, "I'm not ready to hold your hand." I know that seems like a move forward in a relationship, so to speak, but it's actually just part of a date. Your goal is to give him an example of what it would look like if you were his partner, and his goal is to do the same. So to a man, you not doing those things makes it appear that you're not that interested.
Definitely not ready to be a partner, I guess.
It also kills his ability to be completely masculine for you on that date, because if you won't take his arm, then, you know.
I feel like when you just said, like, trust is a big word, it is a big word, but maybe the way I saw it is...
See what I'm saying? How the host is saying she kind of has to do that. I don't agree with that. Because you have to understand, once again, it's people on different levels, but it has to be expressed, or it has to be expressed. The woman has to express that, all right, for real. And that way you can kind of get around that. Because if a woman is going to do stuff where she's going to do a certain amount of abuse or just fear, whatever the case may be, that man can help her get through that, okay? But to say, look, you're going to get through it right now for appearance sake or for whatever, for this, that's not right. In my opinion, that's really not right, okay? And I dated women before that are fearful, all kind of stuff, okay? It's all kind of people out here, you know what I mean? But to be in a real relationship or to work with people, okay, you have to be able to, not just outside dating, just being friends, just talk to people in general. You have to be able to understand where people are in their life, you know, and try to work around it.
When you wanted to go out with me at all, that was you trusting me.
Okay.
And it did kind of hurt a little bit. I mean, again, I can respect boundaries, but it did still at the same time hurt my feelings.
Gosh, how many commercials? My man's getting paid from this video. I'll tell you that right now. My man is getting major paper from this. More commercials than NBC on this joint. All right.
And of course, as men, we're going to try to be receptive to that and understand where you're coming from. But it does kind of limit his ability to do his full, to be his full masculine self in that capacity, right?
Yeah.
The last thing I had here was intellectual stimulation, right? So we like when a woman can respond back and be attentive, right?
Yeah.
Have a good conversation, right? We look for that in women. And I definitely think she appeared to have that. You guys started off on it was a little difficult conversation, but it seems like she understood you. She was receptive to what you were saying. Is that typical for you?
Well, typically, a lot of the girls that I met, as I said, like, they're literally only trying to date or to, like, have, I don't know, I'm allowed to use the word fuck buddy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. We're in hookup culture.
We're in a hookup culture, exactly. And so, like, they're just looking for that. And so it's, like, sometimes it's not necessarily about the values or anything like that. Maybe it's, like, more small talk, maybe, and maybe sometimes it feels like it's something that'll take more time to get her to open up or something like that. Where at the end of the day, they don't want a second date because we haven't gotten to know each other. And that, to me, sounds so irritating because you didn't want to get to know we didn't get to know each other because they wouldn't want to talk.
Absolutely.
So it's like,
I completely understand. So as a man dating with intent, you're ending up in these situations where a lot of times you're in hookup culture. And so you're not getting a second date out of it. Meanwhile, here you are, you have spent your money, you spent time with this person who you're never going to likely see again.
Yeah.
Right? Women oftentimes are looking at dates as what they can get out of them, right? And experience, right? Take me to a nice restaurant. I want the ambiance. I want the treatment, right? And with no intent of doing anything special for the guy after the date. So it's almost like it's almost like she's getting over on him, right? Like she's using him for meals. And that's what men say. I'm not going to keep taking these women out if they don't like me. Don't go out if you don't like me, because then it wouldn't end up where he's on the outside looking into the thing. What do women say oftentimes when he's upset? I took you to this restaurant, I did that, and now you don't want to get close to me, you're not ready. And she's like, well, you wanted to do it. She will let him spend, knowing she's not interested in this man. Now, do you feel that that's wrong?
No, I don't like users. I mean, I do think I think that...
She about to be like, hey, I like, you know what? No, I think she being real here.
We are all adults, and there's enough of every type out here to where that's not even necessary. Like, there are men that really will just spend money on you.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's a certain type. There's things that go with that, but there are, men that'll just spend money on you.
Even though her attitude was crazy on that, on her last internet escapade, it's women that's 1,000 times worse than her, for sure. Okay, for sure. She simply just acting crazy with the phone and a few things she was doing, but she could have been way worse. Okay, for real. And as we saw, she was listening to him at the end. All right. But yeah, I've seen way worse.
And are okay with that, But
what do you take from that type of man? If you don't mind me asking, we call that a simp. And we call that a simp when a man is willing to buy you anything, take you anywhere, and you haven't actually earned that from him with your affection or just being there for him in general. How do you see that?
If women are being really honest, I don't think most women actually respect a man that is like that. And I think there's two different types. There's the ones that will spend money on and they're objectifying the woman and she's just like a toy for them.
Right.
And then there's the ones that really are
trying to buy his way in, just trying his best to earn any type of affection from her.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of those men, there's a lot of those women who allow that to happen, right? So that's why I take what Jay doing here as being something that is great for men everywhere, okay? He knew his worth. You are a beautiful woman. But he said, you know what? I'm just going to take her home. I don't have to do this. Even to the point when you said I will go eat with you at Cheesecake Factory. He saw it as, you know, I would have set aside the date, right? Us being late to that reservation. You're not holding my hand. You're not talking to me in the car. But it seems that you pulling out that camera really got to him. Do you mind telling me what you probably took by that? You're just on a date, and all of a sudden now she's recording you.
A lot of times.
Let me stop real quick just to say this also, because they were talking about something serious there about how, I want to thank you guys for watching. Like the content, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, but and share it too. But I gotta say this, as they were talking about men and this term that they're using now, simps, men have been doing this for years. Okay, some of them have been. It's two types of men. Okay, when it comes to what they're talking about with this behavior, which sometimes means I was initiated by women. When it comes to, no, not actually, it's not always initiated by women. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. It's two types of women that they initiate it or they don't, and then it's guys that initiate it or they're being initiated into it. When it comes to going all out for these women, if you are a man, I don't care, and it's especially for the young men. Listen to this video. If you came across this video, got to this point in the video, understand that if a woman tells you, if you really are into me, you need to be spending whatever X, Y, Z. All right, and you may have that money, you may be in doing whatever and got that kind of money. All right, don't do that. It's not your job to make her to fulfill her wildest dreams on her first date. All right, that's not your job. All right, let her dad do that. All right, she don't have a dad. That's unfortunate. All right, but it's not your job to make her feel like she's in Disneyland, you know, as a little girl on that first date. All right, I know guys personally who've done that type of stuff, and they come to me crying saying, "Yo, why she did me like this? I can't believe blah 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 blah." I'm like, what you expect? This you came across that type of woman, you know. And the reality is that some women, what they will do, and it's a lot of them won't want to admit it. The women that do this, that you have a very slick tongue. A lot of these women that act like that, they have a very slick tongue. Excuse me, they know how to slide around a man almost like a snake. And no matter what the guy says, they know how to make you feel guilty. You see, for example, in the last video with her, it was like she was trying to put him on a guilt trip. Okay, that's why she felt she was in the right when it came to pulling their phone out and filming him. She felt she was in the right because she was putting him on a guilt trip. All right, when they're reacting, and I've seen women try to do it to me before. Okay, and I said nah. It happened to me like once, and after that I was like, I see what the game is. I understand what y'all trying to do. All right. There was other women that I went out with before that tried to do it. Sometimes it took time for me to understand what game they was trying to run. Okay, like one time I don't know if I said this in my last video, but one time I went out with this one girl. Actually, I don't know if I actually ever went out with her, but I can't remember. But it was a while ago. But this young woman said that she wanted, like, I think I was trying to talk to her and she wouldn't give me no time. Then one day she did want to talk to me. Okay. Nowhere, which sometimes is a sign that something's up. Okay, you need to watch. That's just my opinion. You notice behavior like that, sometimes it's the reason why. All right. And then I know where the girl was like, "Oh yeah, let's go on a date." All right. "Oh yeah, I need money for my phone bill. Can you pay it?" Which of course, for a guy trying to talk to one will be, you would think that would be important, because if her phone is cut off, you can't talk to her. All right. So now the money probably was not for her phone bill, but she said, "Oh, I need money for my phone bill." All right. So I said, "Well, I'm not sure about that. I gotta see." Or I was like, "Absolutely not." You know what I mean? So then we supposed to go on a date, right? And we supposed to go on a date. She's just leading me like we like at the cusp of seeing each other, like right, like at the cusp of me coming over there, driving over there, right, to pick her up with her, right. And right before or while I was on the way to her house, she said, "Oh yeah, I need you to pay the babysitter for my son." All right. And I said, "Well, how much is it?" I was thinking to myself, like, you gonna tell me that right now? And she said, "Oh," and the amount of money that she needed was the exact same amount of money that she was asking for the phone bill. All right. I never went out with this girl. I said, wow, like the manipulation is real on these streets. Like I'm telling you, it's all, and I can tell you story to story of these different things that I've seen, you know, different types of stuff. Thank God I didn't fall for that stuff. Okay, I didn't fall for that like I did when I was younger. And the first time when someone really tried to run game with me, they just bounced on me. You understand what I'm saying? But there are women that will try to do that type of stuff. You're not obligated as a man to go all out on the first date. Once again, you're not obligated to treat a woman that you're dating or just take it on the first date as if she's your wife. Okay, because the reality is that these women will not treat you like you're their husband. Okay, they're not going to do that, but then they want you to give them all the wife duties. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, doesn't make any sense.
If I'm the one asking a girl out, that's me already offering to pay for the meal, right? That's me already being okay with that, right? But her recording me did feel like that's where I felt like she was trying to take advantage. She was trying to, like, and maybe you had a different view on it, but it felt like at the time that you were just trying to get food, like a free meal from a fancy restaurant, and then you get content from me too to post on YouTube, Facebook.
And you get your reputation ran through the mud, so it's all be done at your expense, right? Now, that wasn't your take. You have many groups where you encourage women on dating. Y'all talk about dating, and this was something that you said, look, y'all see a lot of dates go wrong.
Right.
So based on your mindset, you really felt like he was taking you somewhere beneath your value.
Yeah.
And you were saying, I'm going to show the world how you're treating me, right? Can you tell us a bit about that so he knows that, you know, it wasn't to embarrass you, it wasn't to, you know, get content, any of that. It was, I felt wronged in that scenario. You mind?
No, I did. I felt like you didn't see my value. And, you know, in that moment, I felt like I needed the support of my viewers.
See, and her Americanized view at that point of, and I have to say this, I'm sorry to have to keep stopping this video, but I have to say this. You see, she says, you didn't see my value, because for her value is connected to money. How much you're spending on me is letting this woman know how much you value her. That's absolutely untrue. Okay? There are men, for example, that are multi-millionaires and billionaires, all right, that will set a cap on how much money they're going to spend on a date. All right, I do that myself. I'm like, okay, I'm only going to spend this amount of money. I actually budget like everything that I do. All right, when it comes to someone who I'm serious with, then that's different. But you're someone I just met. I'm not going to be splurging on you. I just met you. Okay, but she sees it as, well, like I think they mentioned earlier. Okay, well, this is like preparation for marriage. Well, then I want to see the marriage splurge. No, you're not his wife. Okay, she's saying once again, oh, well, you want to spend this money, you must see me as some kind of cheap chick on the street. No, we just met. All right, you could be worth more than everything in the entire world. But the amount of money that, I mean, if you're really worth that much, I really couldn't. No one on earth could afford to pay for you, because of the reality is that a human being's worth is priceless. All right, but the thinking that they've been given is, it's essentially the thinking of a prostitute. Seriously. Okay, I remember one time, I said this online before. I had a woman one time that offered me. I was out somewhere down like North Philly, and this woman approached me out of nowhere, and she said that she would perform a sex act on me for $8. She said $8. I'm about to say $3. She said $8. $8. I said, wow. So you believe that you're only worth $8? Grown woman said $8. Okay, and that's sad. And you may be a woman watching this and thinking to yourself, that's messed up. But then some of y'all same women will go on a date, and if a man don't spend a certain amount of money, you feel like, well, my worth is around this, my worth is around that. Okay, it's women online telling other women, if the man don't want to spend so and so and so and so, he don't really see you as being worth anything. Okay, so you're only worth $100. You're only worth $1,000. You're only worth $500. Okay, and I heard this past year, I believe, or maybe 2022, it was a basketball player that spent a ton of money on a girl. Okay, I can't remember how much. I think he spent like $500,000. Okay, on a date with this girl. You know, just the dumbest stuff. Just the dumbest stuff. All right, guys. If you get a woman like that, hit the door and leave. All right, get up on out of there ASAP. Okay, because if she has the mindset that I'm like that, she has a mindset of a prostitute, and actually prostitutes really have a wiser mindset than that. Because at least they're doing it as a job. I mean, I don't agree with that type of lifestyle, but at least they're doing it as a job. You understand what I'm saying?
That moment. But, and not only that, like he said, you know, I discuss relationships and things like that. So I thought that that was a good opportunity for me to kind of have that conversation and see, like, what does everybody else think? I wasn't really taking your feelings into consideration. I wasn't trying to be necessarily malicious or anything like that.
I understand.
As I said, of course, she wasn't trying to be malicious. That her mind is just selfish. Her mind was thinking about herself, you know.
Good. I'm gonna say this, guys, to end this video, okay? In a world with hookup culture, not having much understanding on relationships based on how we're raised, and then you got social media with the instant gratification and making it so easily to meet people and replace people. Dating has gotten, it's like a thing that's lost to us. I want to ask these two beautiful people here a question. They had one date that went bad. They have not went on a date since that day, right? Now, would you guys be open to another date, knowing what you know now?
I think if we were able to find a way to get our values more in the center, I could see us trying again.
I mean, yeah, I would be willing to go out on a date again.
Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. Listen, we want to keep up with this first date. Actually, we're going to take care of this first date. It's going to be on us. So we're going to send you somewhere just like they used to do on all those other talk shows. We're going to take care of it. And then we'll reach back to you guys in a couple of weeks and find out how that's going. How does that sound?
I'd love
to see what you guys are up to.
As long as it's not the cheesecake now.
Oh,
she is funny, man.
Yeah.
Guys, this was an amazing episode of The Truth Factory. Hopefully you guys learned something from it.
Okay, this guy Kevin Wesley did a good job with this interview. Yeah, y'all. Gotta give it to the woman. Maybe let me watch the end. Maybe she gonna say something at the end. Hold on.
And can apply it to your life. Happy hunting for your next partner. I'll see you guys next time.
Okay, I guess that's the end of it. Yeah, learn a little bit more about the woman. I think her name was, what she said, her name was Ashley, Aisha, something like that. I can't remember her name was, but I think that it's definitely hope for her, and she's already changing. All right. She really needs to sit down with a guy to really talk to her about what she could do better. And she's doing this right now on this show, but she really needs to sit down one-on-one with a guy to really let her know. Okay. You got to just, not a woman, but a man. All right. And I have to say it's because women don't know what's in the mind of a man. There are a lot of women online, you're getting advice for how men think from women. Only an idiot would do that. Seriously, I'm not trying to ruin it. I'm not trying to ruin, it's the truth. You're never going to know what's in the mind of a man only talking to women. You have to ask men. Okay, you have to talk to men. All right. And so women don't want to do that because they don't want to hear something that they don't want to hear something bad. But we as men have to go the hard way all the time. All right. We have to be looked down upon by women and by men and by society all the time. All right. So that's just the real world. But I hope only the best for her. She's definitely maturing. All right. She's definitely of the age where she needs to be mature for sure. All right. As I said in my last video, you can get to the point where your head is just too big. And I think her head is shrunken down quite a bit. All right. You may think that if I have a big head, that means that, that's what I'm supposed to be. I gotta live my life with a big head. No, you don't. You know who you are, but you walk with humility. I know who I am, but I walk with humility. All right. Just a reality situation. All right. All right, guys, I want to thank you for watching. Like the content, subscribe to the channel, share this video, and like the video helps the most when you like this video on YouTube. So YouTube recommends this video more, or wherever you're watching this video, Facebook, wherever you're watching it. Thank you so much for watching this video and tuning in. I'm out. Peace.